Today in the garage we're gonna work on this thing again. Uh, we are going to be changing spark plugs, and I'm just gonna show you what I use and the parts we're gonna use. So we got the spark plugs, we have a PCV valve, we have this thing, which is this thing, that little nipple in there, which I broke a while back. And we have an intake gasket. The intake has to come off, and I don't want to reuse the old one. I don't want to take this apart again, so I went out and bought these parts. The PCV valve, this thing, is not located right here, which I originally thought. It's actually located under the intake. So I'm going to change it no matter what, because I don't want to go back in there later on in 2 or 3 or 6 months from now, because the PCV valve is junk. So I'm just going to go ahead and change it. Here are the part numbers. I guess we'll start off with this tube here. There's a little clip. You just pull on it this way, and it should slide out like that. Try not to break anything. I'm going to take this off too, on this side. There you go. Next will be this intake tube. Let's see here. Unclip this hose. That's the overflow. I might just take that right off. This line has to come off. It's the evap line. Okay, let me show you something. So that clip right there needs to go down, and then it has to go that direction. So it has to go down and that way, both top and bottom. I guess that could stay. I just don't want to break it. There. That's a better look at it. Let's make it messy. It might be cooling in here. Oh, oh yeah. I had the engine running for a bit, so it's under pressure. Need to relieve the pressure somehow. Hopefully by taking the cap off. There. Well, now you know. Take the cap off first. Because Ford actually recommends running the engine until it gets warm, so that the spark plugs can come out easier. Wow, that was interesting. I'm just gonna blow this area with air, just to get rid of all that coolant. Okay, the next we're taking this throttle position, I think, or motor off. There's a red clip here. You slide that out like that. Make sure it's all the way up. Yep. And then you can press on the tab. Press it down. Wiggle it loose. All right. So this clip needs to come off of here. I got something better. This is a pretty handy tool. So that can come off here. Alright, that's disconnected. That's disconnected. So this whole piece is going to come out as one piece, including that. Okay, I see nothing else. So when I take these bolts off, I'm going to raise it and then turn it and set it down, because there's the PVC hose is still connected in the back. So you just can't lift it up and take it out. You have to unclip that hose in the back. All right. So those look like 10 mil. Nope. They're 8 mil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's one back there. So that one, if I come from this angle. Aha. There's the PCV valves right there, and that's the hose that has to come off. Oh, and this hose has to come off also. All right. So that's what that looks like. You can actually see the intake valves down there. That's pretty cool. I'll stick some rags in here. It would be a very bad day if you dropped something down there and you didn't see it. So I'm going to blow this out, blow all the dirt away from here, and because I really don't want to put anything falling in spark plug holes once I take the spark plugs out. I think this is the way you take it out. Just twist it. Here's the PCV valve. Here's the new one. They look the same to me. Maybe I'll just put some oil around there and I'll put it in. Because this is a molded part that was pressed in from the factory with heat. The only way to take that off, well, the only one that I know to take it off is use a little bit of heat around that, and it should come loose. And then we're going to just put it right back on the new one right there. So hopefully this works. There. Now I'll let it cool and put it in the car. There, locked in place. There we go. There. They've never been off, so they're kind of jammed in there. There we go. There. So now, there. We'll do one at a time, just so that we don't get confused as to what plug goes where. And try to be careful not to not to drop the bolts, because you really don't want to drop the bolts. There. Well, that's what the coil looks like. Dirty. Ah, that's too long. Let's try a shorter one. I think this is 6 inches. Ah, perfect. Come on. All right, what does it look like? Kind of rusty and brownish. Oh. And the gap there's gotten a little bigger, but we're going to change them out anyway. And it is Mastercraft. I guarantee you this is the original plug on this car. Before I put the new one in, I'm going to blow out the threads, the cylinder. I'm going to put a little bit, just a small little bit of anti-seize on the threads, at the start of the threads. That's it. Torque to spec, of course. And now I'm just going to do the other two, and we'll actually do all 6, and I'll bring it back when I'm installing the intake. Another good tip is put a little bit of dielectric grease right on the tip of the boot here. Sorry, just a little bit. Right there. Something like that. And every bolt that goes back into the car, I always put a little bit of dielectric grease. Anti-seize on the threads, not on the tip. Not here. Sorry, not here. On the threads only. Here's a closer look at those clips I was talking to you about. So what you do is pull up on here. There you go. Now there's a space there, right here, that you can press down on this clip, and then you can wiggle it loose. So yeah, so every time you see one of these red clips on a connector, that's how it comes off. Just a little tip. Put some on right now before I forget. That. Voila. And torque spec. And when you plug this in, make sure you hear a clip or a click there, and voila, done. All right, make sure this is all clean. Time to replace this gasket. I mean, it probably was okay to reuse this, but I didn't want to take the chance. Looks good to me. You know what? I'm going to take this tube off first. I'm going to put it in the PCV valve, and then I'll reconnect it once its intake's in. Something like that. That's it. Okay, got all these torqued down. Now is plugging everything back in. You know, I'd like to put some dielectric grease in here. I don't know. It's just something I do. Okay, that goes there. This one goes in here. There. That clips in. No leftover screws, which is good. That's always good. And I can plug that in here. Got this coolant hose. Like one like here. goes under. There. Okay. Looks like it's all in. Oh, this hose. This goes like so. Pretty sure this is the last piece. There. Well, we're going to start her up and see what she sounds like. It actually started a bit different. As soon as it started, there was no hesitation whatsoever. Well, that must be a good sign. Alright, I'm going to put the cover on and take your first test drive. Okay. So there's you wrap it around the oil filler, and there's a pin there and a pin here. This one here you have to screw it in actually to hold it in place. This one here is a push-in pin. So over there we got this, and it goes into a threaded hole, so you have to actually turn it in. And this one is just you pull it out like that, put it in the hole, and you push down on the pin. There, you're good. Alright guys, that's it. That's how you change your spark plugs in a 2011 Ford Explorer, and probably others with 3.5 liter engines. So thanks for watching guys.